Do you hear me? All right, very good. All right, so just like many others, okay, Chee started working since he graduated from university. Okay, he is a master degree holder and he has worked in different corporate in the past 15 years. However, as a business oriented person, he was always looking for a business opportunity until he finally met Forever Living and in 2012. So which means it was around 9 years. Am I right, Mr. Chee? Okay. And also, he is now an Eagle manager and qualified for his title 6 years consecutively. Wow, very good job. Okay. And he also, an F2D achievers and local incentive trip throughout his Forever Living journey. Okay, he's one of the typical, he's one typical example of against all odds. Why do we say against all odds? Because he is against all the common thought that educate people do not do network marketing. And also he is against the myth that if you are used to the sedentary office lifestyle, you cannot go hands-on. And he was against the limb support from his family members. When he started Forever Living, it takes faith, consistency, and also strong mind for him to walk up where he is today. As the title of our talk goes tonight, okay, Eagle Manager Chee, he is going to share with us the main difference between corporate business and also Forever Living business. I believe some of you here might be wondering, wow, highly educated person also and has been working in a large corporation. Why does he need Forever Living? Okay, well, I will leave this question to Eagle Manager Chee to reply all your questions. And also as a veteran cooperative executive and achiever in Forever Living, there is no doubt, okay, he's going to give us some exciting insight. Okay, I really cannot wait, okay, to listen to his presentation. And I believe, okay, so do you? All right, so without further delay, so let us invite our speaker today. Before then, let's welcome him and then type 933 to welcome our Eagle Manager Chee, okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you, Azro, for introducing me and
it's my
all
pleasure.
It's about me. Thank you so much.
Right.
So first of all, I just would like to check my mic. So if you guys can hear me, could you please type 5? Give me a 5. So give me 5.
Wow.
If you can hear me clearly, just give me a 5. Yeah. So can I have a 5? Okay, Azrul, yes, I get a lot of 5. Okay, without further ado, let me start with my slides. Okay, so this is I think this is my first presentations after kind of some time, because before the MCO we do a lot of live presentations and I can see you all clearly, and then I can see your body language and reactions and all that. But unfortunately, we have close to 100 people now tonight to attend our meeting. But I couldn't feel you, because the only reactions, the only communication that between you is through the chat. So I hope you can give me some, what do you call that, encouragement, and give me some courage to give me numbers and do not sleep, do not fall asleep. All right, so a little bit, I have to get used to speak to the, what do you call that, the screen, because I do not know whether, because it's kind of scary when people around the world, especially this is the international talk, people around the world, they are looking at you from the dark. So it's kind of so scary, right?
A bit nervous.
Okay. All right. Without further ado, I would like to once again thank you so much for my MC for introducing me. Azro is one of the most talented, and I think one day he'll be a best speaker in Forever Living as well. All right. So today we are going to talk about corporate business and Forever Living business. I think the Forever Living business, I think most of you are very familiar. So today I'm kind of like to give you a comparative kind of like, what is corporate business versus the Forever Living business. All right. So, okay, let's start. Okay, before I start, I need to put some disclaimer here. So actually, the slide that I'm going to share is actually is my personal view. So I do not represent any institution or any organizations, or my views is just purely my personal view. All right. So please do not quote me if I'm wrong or not so accurate in terms of providing all the data here. So please just bear with me. All right, a little bit about me. So I graduated from University Putra Malaysia, one of the best universities in Malaysia. So I'm not sure whether the audience coming from Philippines knows about this university. In fact, UPM is ranked 28 in a QS World University. So I'm proud of being one of the alumni of the university. All right. And I have studied, actually, I want to be a doctor, but unfortunately, to a certain extent, I'm afraid of blood, you know? It's kind of like when you see a lot of blood that you get fainted. So I could not be the doctors to treat people. Then I make a choice. I'm making a choice to be the doctor of the environmental. So I study environmental science in UPM. So basically environmental science, it covers a lot of things. It covers the air, it covers the water, it covers the pollutions, it covers the waste treatment, and everything within and everything surround you. All right. So that is called environmental science, and I'm quite happy and about my study because it's really opened my eyes, and to a certain extent I can contribute to human being. All right. Okay, to be more specifically, my research, because I completed my degree in environmental science, then I continued my study in master's degree. So in my master's degree, I do a very kind of like dirty job. Why I say it is a dirty job? Because I study waste. I study waste. You know, waste, rubbish. Why do I want to study rubbish? Because us as a human, we generate a lot of rubbish, tons of rubbish. For example, in Malaysia, probably we generate, in Kuala Lumpur alone, we generate about 3,000 tons a day, right? So this doesn't include of whole Malaysia. Okay, probably now the figures has gone up a little bit more than 3,000 tons a day. So my study is to how to utilize the rubbish, how to utilize the waste to generate energy. So what kind of energy? Electricity? I mean, you know, actually, our waste contains a lot of power, energy. If we make use of our waste, we can produce electricity. And by doing so, we do not have to treat the waste, and we do not have to kind of like, you know, to just throw it away. So it's to recycle the waste in a short way. Tell you, okay, in a layman term. So I am not going to go to very technical about my background, about my studies, because this is going to take you a whole day to understand the waste to energy things. All right. Okay. After I graduated, then immediately I joined the corporate world. I'm kind of like lucky because I graduated in 2006. That time is 2006, yeah, if not mistaken. So I graduated in 2006. And that time I still remember my first job after I graduated. My pay was around 3,000 plus. And during that time, it was quite high because, you know, I think for those of you who has joined our Thursday night class presented by our CBM, by CBM Bell, according to her first job, her first pay is only 900 as an engineer. So I consider myself, I'm very, very lucky. I was lucky then, all right? So, but then the funny things happened. I still remember during that time when I first joined the corporate world, right? I was scared because during the time I was so, I was young compared to now. And when I interviewed for the job, I still remember, the CEO itself interviewed me, right? The CEO itself. Usually people go to interview, you will go to the HR manager, and then HR manager will talk to you, will interview you. But then my case is a little bit different because of my studies, because of my background and all that. So the CEO requested to interview me, all right? So I still remember after about an hour of interviewing, then he said on the spot, he said, okay, I'm going to hire you. Right. Okay, I was so happy then because this is I mean, it's kind of dream jobs because after you graduated, immediately you get a good company, good corporate, and then they offer you a job with a kind of a good pay, not so bad, about 3,000 plus, close to 4K. So during that time, is kind of very high pay. But I still remember I told the CEO, I said I need some times because I need a break because I have to break. I studied for quite some time for about I took about 2 to 3 years to complete my studies, master's degree, and then I said I want to take a break 2 months. And I mean the CEO is so good. He is so kind. He said, okay, no problem. You take a good break and 2 months break. All right. So I was so happy, and then I have a good 2 months break, and I traveled around Malaysia. During that time, we just cuti Malaysia. I haven't got my first salary yet, so I cannot travel overseas. Right, after 2 months, this is a little bit of story. Huh? After 2 months when I joined the company, I was so surprised that because the HR manager told me that our CEO has left. I'm kind of shocked because 2 months before that, he just interviewed me. And then after 2 months, he has left the company. So I told the HR manager what I'm supposed to do. Because according to our agreement, all right, he has drawn a plan for me and I'm supposed to deliver some sort of like KPI and all that. But then unfortunately, he has left. So immediately I think that, wow, is this the usual things happen in corporate world, or just I'm so unlucky that it happens to me because my boss left the company before I joined the company. So I puzzled a while during that time, but I'm going to tell you the story after this. So I give you a little bit of suspense, all right, here. The story doesn't end here. I promise you, I'm going to tell you the story at the end of my presentation. So if you want to know more about my story, you have stay until the end of my presentation. All right. So I told you, right? I joined a good corporate. I work as a during that time is a senior executive. Senior executive. My first job, I joined a corporate world, and then the title is senior executive. And most of my friends, they joined as an executive, but then I joined as a senior executive. But during that time, I could see that. Even though my pay is not bad, but then I'm not complacent about that. Then, and I keep on searching. I keep on searching for business because deep inside my blood, I kind of like, I want to do something more than the 9 to 7 jobs because it's just not so me. Because I realized that I want to do something more. So I end up starting a first business venture. I still remember during that time, there is no Lazada, there is no Shopee. So I can proudly say, I'm kind of like pioneer in internet business. If you do not believe me, you can go to Shop Malaysia. You can go to Google and check on this Shop Malaysia, shopmalaysia.com. So Shop Malaysia basically is an online shopping platform. So what do? We sell products online. But what is the difference compare Shop Malaysia and Lazada nowadays? The difference is that Shop Malaysia, we sell things that produce or make in Malaysia. And we sell it to, we do receive some order from US. We do receive some orders from overseas, right? During that time, it was kind of like more than about 14 or 15 years ago. All right, so, but unfortunately, it ended up fail. Why did it fail? A lot of people will say that internet business is the most easiest business to do. But, excuse me, can you see my screen? Sorry. All right. Sorry, some technical problem there. Okay, let me continue. All right. A lot of people will say that internet business is the easiest way to start up a business. Yes, that is what I thought in the first place. I thought that you just need to get some website engineer to have a good website, design it, and put the stuff on, and then you just host it. You just get somebody to host your website, and then ta-da, you're on. And then you are 7 days, 7/24, because internet. It doesn't matter. It's not closed. You don't have to close your shop. All right. So it works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay. So why it end up fail? Why it end up fail? A lot of people will say that it's easy, but then it's not so easy. We end up fail is because of there are a lot of technical issues. There are a lot of technical supports that you need from the engineers, from the photographers, from the suppliers. So it's initially I thought that it's easy, but after 2 years, me and my partners we decided to give it up because we can't survive. We can't survive. And for your information, until today, my friends told me that even Lazada, to a certain extent, they are not making a good profit, or to the extent they are losing some money because they have to keep in pumping a lot of money. They are not talking about 10,000, 20,000. They are talking about millions of dollars. All right. And that ventures myself, I lost about, in total, I think our losses is about 100,000. All right. So even though an internet business will cost you 100,000 over the period of 2 years. All right. So before you start any business, you better think twice. Okay, let's continue. So that is a little bit background or introductions of me, myself. So I hope you do not feel bored about it. All right, okay. So let's come back for today's topics. So I'm going to talk about the traditional business, the corporate business versus FLP business. All right. So I have 4 topics. It's just a simple topics here. I will cover some introduction, and then second, I'm going to talk about the business startup, all right? And the third, I'm going to tell you about the rewards, how the business rewards those entrepreneurs, how the business rewards those, in a business. And number 4 is I'm going to tell you about the choice and my advice. So this is a little bit of my personal opinion to all of you, all right? Okay, introduction. I think most of us have seen this many times, right? So we talk about the quadrants, 4 ways to produce income, right? So these are the common 4 ways that we usually how people produce income, all right? That is E stand for employee, S stand for self-employed, B for business owner, and I for investor. So on my left-hand side, E and S is actually you as an employer, you pay, you can only make a living because wages make a living. You cannot expect that by working for people or...
Hey, sorry to interrupt. We can't see your slide.
Oh, sorry. Let me share again. Okay, let me stop sharing. So Sean, can you see it again?
Yes.
All right. So let me put in a full size. Okay, thank you, Sean.
Now it's blank again.
Blank again. It just happened, right, Sean? So can you see my screen?
Once you go into full screen, it will blank, disappear. The slide will disappear.
Okay, so then I have to use the normal screen.
Yeah.
How about now?
Yes, now okay.
Okay, right. Okay, right? You can see the screen, right?
Yes, can see the screen.
Okay, let me continue. So, okay, this is 4 quadrants. And where was I just now? I'm talking about the employee and the self-employed. So meaning that on my left-hand side, the quadrant E and S is actually is enough for you to make a living wages, because your living is depends on your salary and depends on your money pay, right, from the company that you work for. Okay, on my right-hand side is actually business and investor. So the only difference here, you can see wages make a living, but profits make a fortune. So what is living and fortune? Living is just like surviving, right? Surviving, enough for you to survive. If you are lucky enough, and then you have a little bit more extra money, but then it's not a fortune. But if you involve in business and investor, so actually you generate profits, and profits make a fortune. So that's the difference between business and employee, all right? So but nevertheless, most of us will start as an employee. All right, there's nothing wrong about it, and I do not intend to underestimate who are those still working for, who are still working. All right, so you are definitely okay. But what I'm trying to say here, if I may, I would like to suggest you try to find a way to move from E and S to B and I, because according to the statistic, I think about 80 to 90%, once they retire, they do not have enough money to spend for the rest of their 10 years or 20 years of life. So what makes it different here? So you need more money actually. So you need more money to generate money, and then for you to continue to live according to your current lifestyle, all right? Okay, next, why I say profits makes a fortune. This is another statistic. I just got it from Bloomberg, and this is quite latest. This is December 18, 2020. This is Bloomberg Billionaires Index. And you can see here, the top 10, the most richest men in the world, right? They are not employed. They are not self-employed. They are the business owner. They own the business, all right? And to a certain extent, they invest their money to make more money, right? So it shows that it is very important for you to have profits instead of just earning enough for you to survive, all right? Okay, you have here the top richest man, the richest man in the world, Jeff Bezos. He owns Amazon, all right? Elon Musk, Tesla, Bill Gates, Microsoft, Bernard Arnault. Bernard Arnault probably is not so familiar, by most of us. If you know about LV, Louis Vuitton is actually owned by Bernard Arnault, all right? Mark Zuckerberg, FB, Facebook, and Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is one of my favorite because of he's talking about the compounding interest that he makes, all right? And Larry Page from Google, Steve Ballmer, and Sergey Brin. Okay, Sergey Brin also from Google. Okay, these are the top, the richest men in the world, and none of them is working for others. So what it tells about it, what it tells us about it, all right? In order to be rich, in order to be wealthy, so you can't work for people. You need to find a way. You need to find a way to make extra income or find a way to make extra profits, okay? And I think most of us here, we have how many audience here? I think we have about 170 audience here. You are so lucky because you have found a way. You have found a way how to make a fortune that is forever living. Am I right? So if you agree with me, could you please give me a 5? Could you please give me a 5? All right. Okay, let's continue. So these are the famous quote, right? From Bill Gates and from Donald Trump and from Bob Proctor. So what do they say? So Bill Gates said, if I would be given a chance to start all again, I would choose network marketing. So do you know how important is network marketing now? All right, even Bill Gates say something like this. If he would be given a chance to start all over again, so he would choose network marketing. And how about Donald Trump? He said, I'm often asked if network marketing is a pyramid scheme. My reply is that corporations really are pyramid schemes. A corporation has only one person at the top, and generally the CEO, and everyone else below them. So actually, when people say about pyramid scheme, so actually, probably the corporate is the most well-known pyramid in the world, according to Donald Trump. And what Bob Proctor said, what you sow, you reap. It's a law of nature. Network marketing is perfectly aligned with that. You get truly exactly what you are worth, not nepotism, not favoritism. That's rare today. So it tells us what? It tells it. If you're working for people, you're completely fine, but try to find a way to switch from an employee to a business owner, and at the same time, make a living and make your fortune, all right? And you are so lucky because you have found that, which is forever living. Okay, so number 2, I'm going to tell you business startup, traditional versus FLP. A lot of people surrounding us, they say, okay, you said we need to start a business, all right? But then how? And how to start a business? So I'm going to tell you how, all right? And make a comparison between the traditional business and forever living business, all right? Before I make a comparison, let's have a look at this term, entrepreneurship and corporate. So if you want to start a business and then you call yourself as an entrepreneur, right? Right? Okay. So by definitions, according to the dictionary, entrepreneurship is an activity of setting up a business or businesses, taking on financial risks in the hope of profit. Taking on financial risks in the hope of profit. Meaning that you like it or not, you have to put money in, and it depends. The risk, it depends on how much capital that you invested into your business. So if you wish to make more money and you put more money into the capital to start your business, meaning that your risks will be higher and in the hope of making profit. So this is the real definitions of entrepreneurship. So before you enter to any business, please understand this first. Because a lot of people telling me to start a forever living business, that is a risk. Because people say that if I can't sell, what am I going to do? If I can't expand the network, what am I going to do? I'm going to lose the money. But then remember, this applies to across all the business that you want to do. Because I'm not sure why, because some people would say that they would rather to start a business like open up a cafe, open up the restaurants, and they feel it's easier compared to forever living. So do you agree with that? But personally, I do not agree with that, because start up a cafe or start up a restaurant or start up the workshop is much more complicated than you can imagine. So, okay, next, let's move to corporate. So a lot of people like me, before I start my forever living business, I'm so proud to tell all my friends that I work in a big corporate. So what is corporate? Corporate is relating to a large company or group. So by its names, it makes you kind of like happy. It makes you feel good. But in actual fact, do you think that it's easy to work in a corporate? Do you think that it's easy to start a business? Do you think that it's easy to be called as an entrepreneur? So that is the question that I want to throw it to you and think about it. Okay, let me give you some example, all right? So your first year of business startup, reality versus expectation. So what is the reality? Let me start with the expectation first, all right? People will tell me that, okay, being a businessman or being a business owner, that is so nice, that is so good, because we can make a lot of money by doing business, by start up a business, all right? There are always things that on the left, they think that by starting up business, the business will start on autopilot, and they do not have to work anymore because they own the business. All right, then they can have, just lying at beach and sit beside the beach and enjoying scenery and have a cup of coffee and all that with girlfriends. But this is not true. This is not true. Please refer, the truth is that, please refer to the pictures next to the beach, all right? So a day in the life of a business during the startup. So actually, I mean, it's much more complicated and difficult. And when you start a business, you have to work like almost 24/7, right? I'm not trying to exaggerate, but then this is true. I'm not trying to exaggerate because when you're a boss, when you put the money, just imagine if you put up your life saving, let's say you have worked for 10 years or 20 years, and then you have savings of 100,000 or 500,000, and then you take a loan from the bank, right? And the bank will put they will take your mortgage to kind of like as a guarantee or have someone to be your guarantor, and then for you to take up the loan. Let's say about you have a saving of 200,000 and then you take another 300,000. So you have $500,000 in your hands. And with a $500,000, you start up with a franchise restaurant, right? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Are you going to close the shop, open for only one day, and then the next day you go to the beach and enjoy? No, you are going to open, if possible, you want to open 24/7. And if possible, that you want your workers, you want all the people that are working for you 24 hours a day, and get back your capital investment as soon as possible. All right. Okay, next. But unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, okay, reality versus expectation again. So from this statistic, it tells you what? It tells you that the reality is that 8 out of 10 businesses fail within the first 18 months, meaning that it's 80%, which is very high. So 80% will fail in their business within the first 18 months. So just imagine if you are part of the 80% statistic, all right? You have taken a $500,000 loan, and you have taken about 300,000 loans, and your life saving about 200,000. So you have invested for 500,000, and you fail your business within the first 18 months. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to cry, right? And to a certain extent, some of it might commit suicide because not many people can afford 500,000, right? It takes you 10, 20 years to have a savings of 200,000 and take some loans. And within 18 months, everything's gone. Everything's gone. So are you willing to take that kind of risk? All right. If you are fortunate enough and you pass through the 18 months and you become 20%, you succeeded. All right. And then I mean, 20% after 18 months doesn't mean that you can survive for 5 years or 10 years. For example, now, if you are involved in a tourism industry, do you think that you can survive at this current situation? I don't think so, because I have a friend. He has he involved in the tourism industry for quite some time, about 20 years, 30 years. And then, yes, in the beginning, he makes a lot of money. And he is one of the, amongst our friends, the quickest to achieve the kind of like millionaire. Probably he just spent like 5-10 years before this, and then he can achieve that. He has achieved that. And he's very successful because it's kind of like not many of us, after studied and involved in business, and then you can have a good business and then you can become wealthy. But just imagine, for the money that he earns for the past, in this case, one of my friends, in this pandemic time, so the monies that he has earned for the past 10, 20 years is gone within less than a year. You know, we have this COVID starting from last year. It's just only 12 months, right? So everything is gone. So it's not what the message that I'm trying to say here it's not as simple or as easy as you think, because there's a lot of factors, or there's a lot of aspects that you need to think of when you start a business. All right. Okay, next. This is another one. So what are the basic startup requirements? Okay, so for traditional business, the requirement is you need to prepare a good marketing plan. You need to prepare your budgets. You need to have a strategy. You need to get a good directions. You need to spend, you need to invest your time and money, and then you need to find a good products and services even before you start a business. I'm not trying to scare you, but this is reality, and you can see, all right, why the first the business, most of the business fail within the first 18 months they start of the business is because they do not do good preparations, or they do not prepare themselves with all this requirement. Okay, so another question is again, if you decided to start an FLP business, do you need to do all this? Do you require to do all the due diligence? Do you need to find a good people, to help you to start your business? Do you need to think about branding? Right, there's no, with 2 cc's or merely ringgit Malaysia less than 2,000, you can immediately start a business. So to me, it's kind of like, I would say, this is the most beautiful business on earth. And trust me, you can't find any other business which is better than the Forever Living business, right? Let's move on. So business startup, this is a little bit of comparison, okay? So on my left, when you want to start a business, as I said just now in the previous slide, you need to consider a lot of things. You need to have the concept, you need to have the ideas, and then you have the concept. Once you have the concept, right, and then ideas, and then you need to put into a plan and implement the plans and put up the business. And how about Forever Living? I'm so glad that our founder, Dr. Rex, since 1978, it's 40 years. He has spent his life, 42 years, all right, to create this business and to create this company, which are so great that all of us, including me and you and everyone who involved in Forever Living business, without have to going through all this hassle, all right? It saved us 42 years of time. Time is money, all right? Time is money. So Dr. Rex has spent more than 42 years to start up Forever Living, to start up this company called Forever Living Products. And it is so established, and it makes the company produce the world's best heirloom, all right? So Forever Living Product is the largest global manufacturer and distributor of heirloom products in the world. For more than 40 years, we have dedicated ourselves to seeking out nature's best sources of health and beauty and sharing them with the world. Right. So just imagine if you want to achieve what Forever Living has achieved today. So please prepare 40 years, 42 years. All right. Please prepare billions of dollars to invest into the company, and please get ready of failing. All right. Again, once you have the business startup plan, so I'm trying to compare, give you some ideas about the business between Forever Living business and the corporate business, all right? So again, for the 2 years, Dr. Rex has made Forever Living established or moved into 165 countries in the world. So do you think that you have that 40 years? Bear in mind that most of the 80% of the business will fail in the first 18 months, all right? So if you consider that, if you take into considerations of the risks, and I think you would think twice. Maybe not only think twice, maybe you would think about 100 times if you plan to start a business. Am I right? So if If you think I'm right, could you give me some reactions? Probably you give me a 9. So can you please type 9? Yeah. So from my from my screen, I cannot see because I'm running the slide. I can't really see your reactions. I hope you're still with me. Okay, let's continue. So I think I said enough with the business startup kind of thing, right? So you need to have ideas and then turn the idea into concept, just a little bit more. And then you need to discuss with people, and if yes, and then you need to generate prototype, and then you need to spend time and money. If it's good, then you need to have a marketing plan, human resources, team building, and build and launch better, and then to start to run a business. So I think personally, I've gone through this process many, many times. As I said, I work in a corporate. Corporate basically repeat this thing almost every day because they try to expand their business all the time. They could not depend on, even though the big corporate, they cannot depend their incomes from a single source, right? They need to keep on expanding. By expanding, then only they can make more profits, right? It's similar to us, but expanding. Our business, Forever Living business, how do we do the expansion? We do expansion by recruiting, right? So we recruit more people. Actually, during your recruitment, you open up more branches. So these are the difference compared to a corporate business or compared to a traditional business. Okay, all right, next. So once you start out a business, you have the strategy, and then startup business is just a one part, all right? So when you have the company startup, you need to put in the strategy, and then you need to run the company, you need to operate the company. So to run the company and operate the company is a different things at all compared to you start a business. To a certain extent, to start a business is much more easier because much more easier compared to running a company. Right? Okay, why I say so? Because to run a company, you need to make sure that business is sustainable, all right? And then you need to pay the wages. You need to pay the wages because the company, like my company, we have about 10,000 of employees. If the company is not making money, but you still have the commitment to pay your 10,000 staff, all right? And without, you can't fail. You can't fail by paying them every month. So by end of the month, you have to pay their salary. And bear in mind, they have dependents. If you have 10,000 employees, meaning that probably about, let's say, 10,000 times 4, because the dependents, their families, members, and all that, they are 40,000. So there are 40,000 of members actually depending on the corporate to pay their salary in order to in order to survive. All right. So in the case of Forever Living, so what is Forever Living doing? Forever Living is actually a health and wellness company and a multi-trillion-dollar global market. Assets over more than 1.5 billion, and is a cash-rich and debt-free company. So its experience is a long-standing senior management team and founded in 1978 in USA, operating in over 150 countries. So this records alone, why I put here? Because the records alone tell the story. So it's self-explained why Forever Living is to me personally, I think that is your first choice if you think of start a business. All right. Okay, next. So building a team. Just now I said, when you have a company, when you start a company, and then when you run a company, you operate a company, you need a team. And again, I have to reiterate that you need a very good team in order to make sure that your company sustain or survive for 40 years. And this is what Forever Living do. Forever Living has a very professional team and working behind the scene, right? So now, today, if you join Forever Living team, everything is so easy. You just got a product, you just purchase the product and then you sell it, and then by doing that, you make a profit. But do you ever imagine, in order to get bottles of aloe vera into your hands, how many man hours that the company has spent actually to make it, to deliver the products to you? I believe that Dr. Rex or our president, Greg, they have spent thousands of man hours and like a lot of time, a lot of money to make it happen, to make sure that they have plenty of aloe vera, they have plenty of products that deliver to you on time and for you to sell it to your customers or sell it to your clients. So I think a few days ago, I mean, not a few days ago, actually now, we have a shortage of Arctic sea, right? Everyone knows that in Malaysia, especially in Malaysia, we have shortages of Arctic sea and some shortages of tomestin. And I can see a lot of our business partners, they are complaining about why the company is not making, this is not delivering the products on time, why the stock is not coming on time, and what happens to the stocks, and why the stock is so slow coming to us. And if you understand the process of delivering the products to you will take tons of efforts, then I think you will not complain anymore, because it really takes a lot of efforts to put even just as bottles of aloe vera to your doorsteps. Okay, so if you are starting a business, are you ready to put in the efforts? Are you ready to put in efforts to, to deliver products to your customers? That is another question to you. Okay, so when we're talking about a business, right? When we have startup, we have run the company and operate the company, and you have your shops ready, all right? The next thing that you want to consider is supply chain management. What is supply chain management? So supply chain management in a nutshell, or layman term, is to deliver the products to you, to your customers, right? So how to make sure that? Then again is actually, if you search, if you Google it, actually a lot of universities that offer a course, a particular program in supply chain management, right? This will take you 3 years to study how to have a perfect supply chain management. I'm not trying to scare you, but that is the reality, all right? So suddenly you feel that we are so fortunate, because by having the FGU, immediately you can order the products, and by probably 2 or 3 days, the product is delivered to you. So I feel so fortunate. I feel so lucky, because Forever Living has invested so much of money. They have done so many things behind the scenes that make sure they deliver from plant to product and to you. So you will have to start your business. So these are amongst the things that you need to consider. These are amongst the things that you need to make sure you have enough man, machine, material, method, and you have to make sure all your products are in good quality and all the products are delivered to your customer in good shape. Okay? So by having all that, now I'm trying to talk about the rewards. All right? You start a business, okay? And you have run a business, and after 18 months, if you get through it, and then your business is moving, all right? And it's a rewards time. Because why in the first place you want to start a business? It's because of you want to get the rewards, right? Yeah. So this including me. If you're working for a corporate, you're working for a business as an employee. So why you want to work? The ultimate reason is actually the rewards part. Right? Either you want to make a living, or either you want to make a profits. It's all about rewards. So I want to tell you a little bit more on how a corporate rewards their employee. Okay. So key performance indicators. I think this is not this is familiar to all of us. If you work for a company, if you are involved in some business, if you are involved in in almost all sorts of company, they will give you a key performance indicators. So they will measure your profit. They will measure your performance, and they will make sure you achieve the targets, and they make sure you produce 120% if possible. All right. They put a lot of key KPI into you. All right. For example, if the company hire you as an engineer or senior executive by paying you a monthly salary of 5,000, probably your KPI, the company will put on you probably is about 2 times or 3 times. 2 times and 3 times is very, very conservative. Let's say, for example, if your salary is 5,000, probably the company will make sure that you deliver, you make profits like 20 times. I'm not sure about. I mean, it depends on the scale of the company, depends on the scale of the business. If the business is big, for example, if you are doing some sales, if your salary is 10,000, probably the company require you want to have 100 million sales every year, right? That depends, and make some percentage of commission. But then the commission itself, it doesn't commensurate to the works and doesn't commensurate according to the times or hard work that they put into the business, right? And a lot of time, most of the time, when I talk to our salespeople, they say, Mr. Chee, this year, our sales target is to achieve the 200 million. All right, salesperson. That is very common, right? To achieve, if you are a sales manager, if you are the leaders, the sales leaders, all right, probably their pay is about 30,000 a month. But then the targets, the KPI they have is about 20 millions. All right, not 20 million, sorry, probably, if not, yeah, about 20 million. Okay, 20 million a year or more than that. Okay, so in order to reward, I mean, in order for the company to reward you, so you have to achieve 20 times, 30 times of your salary. So do you think that is fair? Do you think that is fair? Points to ponder about. Let's say, for example, if I am the sales leader, I'm the sales manager of the company. My salary is 20,000, 30,000 a month, let's say. If my salary is 30,000 a month, and I'm required to deliver 20 million or 30 millions a year to the company, if I can do so, why should I work for the company? Why should I work for the company? You know what I mean? If with my capability, I can deliver 20 millions or 30 millions of sales or profits to the company, why should I get only 20,000 or 30,000 a month as my salary? It doesn't make sense, right? It doesn't make sense at all. Do you agree? It doesn't make sense at all. But this is reality. This is reality. And a lot of sales leaders or sales manager, they say, actually 20,000 a month or 3,000 a month is the highest pay in the industry. And again, this is not fair. So because your capability, your ability is benchmarked against the industry. So in order to make more than that, more than the money, more than the salary that you get, what are you going to do? The only way to earn more or to get more profit is to make more sales. If you go to the boss and tell them, okay, boss, can I have the increments of 20%? Let's say, for example, the 20,000 a month, 20% is another 2,000, and 10,000 is 2,000, right? 20,000 is 4,000. Let's say I want an increment of 4,000. Is that possible? Let me tell you, it's a fat hoax. The chances is very slim that you will get a 20% increment. It's almost impossible. I don't see any company that are paying a 20% increment within a year. In my past 14 years of involved in the corporate, I've never seen a single individual or single managers or general managers get an increment of 20% a year. I've never seen that. Okay. So after you set a KPI, you have set a KPI at the beginnings of the year. All right. This is the target that you need to achieve, and then you have the 12 months to achieve it. And after 12 months, all right, in order for the company to reward you, there comes a time that they will review the performance of you yourself or your team. All right. This is the time that the layman term that we call it appraisal. So you'll be called and do appraisal and do a performance review. And this is very important. And most of like me, who works in a corporate or the sales team, they will try very hard to pursue it or to persuade their managers or their boss to give them a good performance review. Okay, right. So this is the balanced scorecard. Just now is a KPI, right? Once you set a KPI and then you have 1 year to achieve that. Then at the end of the year, you do a performance review. So this performance review is going to determine what rewards that you are going to get. All right. So it's not, I hope it's not so complicated. So KPI you set in the beginning of the year, and then in the middle of the year, you have mid-year review. And then at the end of the year, you have the performance review for the last 12 months to assess your performance. It's just like a scorecard, right? So when you go to school and then you take exam, after the exam, you have a scorecard. So this is the result, okay? So, and this is a common template. This is a common template that we use in most of the corporate business. Okay, so the balanced scorecard usually will have 4 categories. You have financial, you have customers, you have learning and growth, and you have internal business process. All right. So, and you will be assessed based on this 4 categories. All right. The first thing your boss will ask you. So your target to achieve 100 millions. So have you achieved that? All right. And how much you have achieved? Okay. So usually have a score of 1 to 5. 3 is the standard. So meaning that 3 is 100%. If you want to get a score 3, score number 3, you need to achieve 100% of the targets. And then you will be rewarded accordingly. All right. Okay. To me, 3 is a standard because the corporate will say that, okay, 3 is the minimum. Minimum meaning that you need to achieve 100% of the targets. I'm not kidding you. This is reality. So people will say that, how can I score 100 marks? Even in the school, it's difficult, right? It's difficult. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but then to achieve 100% targets the chances is very, very slim. All right. Just imagine, I think all of you have been to school and have been to university, right? Do you think you can get 100 marks every time when you go attend an exam? I don't think so. By getting an 80 marks, you get an A, right? But then in the industry, in a corporate world, by getting 100%, you achieve 100% of the targets, the best you can get is score 3. All right. Score 3, probably you'll get a bonus of 0.5 months. If you are lucky, probably if the boss is so generous, probably they'll give you 1 month of bonus. It's just 1 month of your salary. So regardless of your how much of salary, but then the calculation is if you achieve score 3, meaning that you achieve 100% of the sales target, probably you just get 1 month's bonus. All right. So how to get a score 5? So score 5, you have, in order to get a score 5, you have to get 120% at least of your original target. Let's say your original target is 100 million. You need to make 120 millions in order to get a score 5. So what are you going to get if you have a score 5? So score 5, probably you get 2 months, 3 months of bonuses. Even though you get a score 5, and then the bosses will ask you again. So how you justify? Yeah, of course, you say that very clearly. If I make 100%, 100 millions of 100% of my targets, and I get a score 3. If I get 5, meaning that I hit 120 millions. So if the boss finally say that, okay, I give you a 5, and then you get your bonus 2 months or 3 months. And then next year, do not forget, next year, beginning of next year, the boss will put 120 millions as your score 3. Yes, that is reality. That is true. The boss says, since last year you achieved 100 million. So the coming year, you have to achieve 120 million as your standard. all right? So for you to achieve 120 million, I mean, for you to achieve score 5, you need to have extra 20% of 120 millions, all right? Which is about, probably you need to do 150 million. Okay, so that is extremely difficult for the corporate to reward you. And bear in mind, just now I said, you will get, if you score 5, okay? And just imagine, this is your personal scorecard. If the company is a big conglomerate, if a big corporation, all right, they have so many subsidiaries. They have 10 subsidiaries, for example, all right, have 10 companies. If company A, you are working in, all right, achieve the targets, and you're rewarded with 3 months bonuses, all right? But unfortunately, the rest of the 9 companies, they do not hit the targets, or they are making losses. And the parent company will say, okay, since this company A is the only company that make profits, so the profits supposed to share among the 9 companies, because the companies pump in the money into the subsidiaries. All right. So the subsidiaries, these 10 companies, have to pay dividend to the parent company. And if that is so unfortunate, the 9 subsidiaries is not making money, and then you are the only company that make profits, and your profits will be taken away. And the boss will tell you, since the market is so bad, I know you're supposed to get a 3 months bonus, but unfortunately, because the other companies is not performing. So this year we have to cut your bonus. Probably you'll get only 1 or 2 years, 1 or 2 months bonus, sorry. Cannot be 1 or 2 years, right? Probably your bonuses will be cut by half. And your boss will say, don't worry, next year we are going to be better. So you will be rewarded next year, not this year. That is totally insane, right? That is totally crazy, because you have put in so much hard work and you deserve all the bonuses. But just because of other company or others people are not doing well, then your bonuses will be taken away. So do you think that this is a fair system or fair reward system? Yeah, it's not fair. It doesn't make sense at all, but you can't do anything, because the reality is either you take it or you live it. Do you have a choice? Yes. Definitely yes, you have a choice. But do you brave enough to take the choice and make a big step and move to another business? It all depends on you. All right. Again, I'm here to give you some comparison. I'm here to give you some insight about how the big corporation rewards their people. Okay, next. Finally, we talk about salary increase. All right. Your boss will always say, salary increase is just ahead. You have to work hard in order to get your increment. Okay. You work 8 hours, that is standard, but in order to get salary increment, better increment, you need to work 10 hours, or you need to achieve more sales target. Instead of 10 millions, you need to achieve 20 millions. And by doing that, probably the company will reward you by increase your salaries. Just now I'm talking about the bonuses, all right? Once you hit targets, and then the company pay you the bonuses, and usually the bonuses will follow by the salary increment. And increase sales. So usually the salary increment, it correlate with the increase of sales. If the sales drop, do you think that you will get an increment, a good increment? Let's not talk about the good increment or whatever. Let's talk about the normal standard increment. Let's say, for example, the sales is very good, and then you have hit a target and you had hit more. Instead of getting a 3, you get a score of 5. You hit 120% of sales, all right? And how much do you think that the increment you will get? How much do you think that increment you will get? Any guess? Any wild guess? I still remember, I think Dr. Desmond, he has shared in one of his seminar, in one of his talk, all right? He told us his increment in one of the well-known bank, one of the local bank, which is a huge bank, and he has been working for a year and he has been performing very well. His increments is only 80 ringgit. It's only 80 ringgit. All right. So it's kind of crazy, right? So you make a lot of sales and then your increments is 80 ringgit. I'm not sure. I mean, if you convert into a percentage, it's how many percent? But let me tell you, your increment, okay, it is yes, no, or maybe. It's yes, no, or maybe. It's not, it doesn't mean that if you're performing very well, you're performing ahead of a target, you will get an increment and then you will get bonuses. All right. I think most of you have experienced that. Most of us, we have 180 people here, right? You work, probably you're still working, you still work for this company. And when it comes to appraisal, when it comes to assessment, all right? So do you think that salary increment is definite? No, it's not definite. The answer will always be yes, no, or maybe. And let's say you're so lucky and you're so fortunate, you have a very good boss and the company is doing well, and then you're finally get an increment. So how much is your increment? Standard across the industry, 5 to 10%. That is the standard across the industry, 5 to 10%. I'm very seldom that I can see more than 10%. Very seldom, but it is. Some company is giving more than 10%, but then it's like very, very seldom. Most of the time you get a 5 to 10%. 5 to 10% in the industry is considered very good, very good. It's a good company, all right? And some of the not so good company, the smallest, in terms of scale, a smaller scale company, they pay you less than 5%. They will say, the company will tell you, we need more money to do expansion. We need more money to expand the business and grow bigger. So when we have a bigger business, when the company becomes stronger, then we'll pay you more money. We'll pay you higher salary. We'll give you more increment. But that is only, to me, is a sweet talk. It never happened. I would say, I'm not saying that it's never happened. Sometimes it probably happened, but then the probability is like 5%, less than 5%. Okay, the boss will give you what he has promised. Okay, here I want to give you an example. Let's take an example of the bank branch manager. Okay, over here you can see. All right. 25% of employees earn less than 7,800. I'm talking about this bank branch manager, all right? Okay. And the reason why I take bank as an example is because I think among the industry, bank always perform better than the average, right? For example, Maybank, CIMB, Public Bank, they always perform better than the industry. So actually their standard is quite high. Their pay to their bank manager is I think to a certain extent is at the top 90%, all right? But then can you imagine if, let's say, for example, we take an average, 25% of employees as a bank branch manager, their monthly salaries is about 7,800. 7,800. Okay, so I'm taking an example, the best reward, what do you call that? Banking system. And banking system is one of the, the highest reward in the industry. But their pay is only 7,800, 25%. 25%, this is the lowest, okay? The highest, okay? Of course, some of the very good bank, the performing bank, or the good branches, their branch manager, they can get about 18,000 a month, they get about 18,000 a month, right? But that is a maximum, 18,000 a month, right? So average, let's say we take an average in the middle, right? So their average salary a month for a bank branch manager is about 12,000. It's about 12,000. So do you think that this is very high already? But I assure you, in forever living business, a lot of among us here, 185 people, right? I think probably 80% or more is earning more than 12,000 a month. I'm talking about ringgit Malaysia. All right. So to have a 5-figure income or more than 5-figure income is very common in forever living business. So now you agree with me. Can you agree? So I think you can agree, right? So this is reality, and a lot of people and a lot of us, we do not aware actually. If you are a manager in forever living and you earn 5 figures income, actually your salary is on par of a bank branch manager. So it's a good news for you. And again, what is the startup salary for a Maybank? All right. So this one I do not manipulate. I do not modify at all. This is an advertisement that I download from Google. So this is true. So in March 2018, all right. So they offer the executive 1,200 ringgit, and probably the highest for sales manager 7,500. All right. So the minimum is 1,002, and the highest pay for Maybank as a sales manager, you'll get 7,500. All right. So let me ask you a question. In order to achieve 7,500 a month, how long do you need? How long do you need in forever living? Based on my knowledge, I think a lot of people can achieve 7,500 a month in less than a year. In less than a year. If you ask Dr. Desmond, if you ask our CBM GLT Droida, if you ask our CBM Sean, our PCM Alex, our PCM Jackie, if you ask them how long to achieve 7,500 a month, they will say probably, according to the current standard, probably is less than 2 months. So can you imagine Maybank is paying 7,500 a month for their sales manager, and probably the sales manager has more than 10 years of experience. And they're expecting the sales manager, by paying them 7,500 a month, the sales manager can deliver probably 7 million a year of sales, or more than that. Can you imagine? So what is your sales target if you're getting 7,500 a month in forever living? So I think you can calculate yourself, right? Okay, again, just now I'm talking about the increment rate. So again, here I'm comparing bank in banking industry. So according to the studies, all right, bank branch managers in Malaysia observed a 14% salary increment every 17 months on average. So they are not taking 12 months, they are taking 17 months. So let me ask you a question again. So how about you? So what's your increment from the day one that you joined forever living business? Okay, you pay 90 ringgit and you get immediately the 15%, all right, profit if you sell the products. And then how long do you need? Do you need to achieve a manager? 3 months, 4 months, and your increments from 15% to 48%, and increments of more than 30% in less than 4 months, or I'll say in average less than 6 months. So do you think that is crazy? It's definitely insane. All right. Okay. So people out there take 17 months to get an increment of 14%. And you guys who involved in forever living business probably need only 6 months or less than that, less than an average 6 months to achieve the 30% increment. So do you think that, so if given a choice, you want to be a bank manager or you want to be a forever business owner? If for me, I would like to be a forever business owner because it makes a fortune. All right. Okay, moving ahead. So bonuses and incentives, bank branch manager. Okay, average bonus rate is 5% of annual salary. Just like I told you, right? Average bonus rate is about 5%, all right, to 8% annual salary. Okay, and only about 80% of them, of the bank branch manager, getting the bonuses, all right, and 20% of them, they are not getting any bonuses. So again, to get bonuses from Forever Living, do you think that you need a master degree, or do you think that you need a diploma degree or basic bachelor degree? You do not need all that. What you need to know about the business is only focus on your 4 cores. All right. So I am speaking a lot about the rewards, how the industry rewards their employees. And let's take a look how Forever Living rewards its business owner. So when I look at it, this is, I think, the latest result that just shared from HQ. I'm almost speechless. So because the big fortunes is beyond your imagination. Forever Living rewards you like no other company. And in fact, we pay the highest bonuses in the industry, within the industry. And I can say it's across the industry. No other company pay higher than Forever Living pays you. Okay? And let's take a look. Our GRT Yuslida, our GLT Dr. Desmond, and our GRT Joraida. They are earning, how much they earn a year? Okay, how much they earn a year? Okay, let's take a look. Our GRT Yuslida. So she earns in 2019. Her yearly income is 410,000. 410,000. So average, she is making about 30,000 to 40,000 a month, ringgit Malaysia. 30 to 40,000 a month. And I can tell you, that is equivalent to a CEO. That is equivalent to a CEO of a company. Okay, 30 to 40,000 a month. That is equivalent to a CEO. Okay, and how about our Kat Zuraida, our GRT Zuraida? Okay, she earns, inclusive of the CBM bonuses, USD 700,000. Okay, USD 700,000, it's times 4, convert about 2.8 million in that particular year alone. All right. So I think you can calculate yourself. If I say just now, our GRT youth leader, her salary is equivalent to a CEO. And if you take Kat Zuraida's salary or bonuses, then her income is equivalent to probably a group managing director. A group managing director, meaning you are the number one, the number one employee, because a group managing director is still an employee. The CEO is still an employee. They do not own the business, okay? The business is owned by the boss, all right? By the owner. They are hired to run the business. So GMBs is, for example, if a parent's company, if you are the general managing director of the company, and under you, probably you have 10 or 20 company subsidiaries, then that is the title for GMD, Group Managing Director. Okay, so that salary is equivalent or more than, or a few times more than the GMD. I'm not kidding you. I'm telling you the truth because I'm from corporate. I know how the company pays. I think so far I've experienced the highest paid GMD. I'm not talking about, of course, you cannot compare to Genting, right? Genting is different because the GMD himself is the business owner. I'm talking about the GMD normal GMD, all right? The highest pay a year is about approximately about 3.5 million ringgit Malaysia, approximately about 3.5 million a year. All right, that is almost the top highest pay. Okay, so can you imagine? Can you imagine? By doing business, forever living business, you can earn more than, you can beat, actually your salary can beat any of the top paid CEOs outside there. Can you imagine? By starting, by paying only a 2,000, less than 2,000 investment, you can beat any one of the CEOs out there. So when I get to know about this business, I'm kind of like, in the first time, I can't believe myself. But then, like it or not, this is reality. And I'm not talking, and that is only JRT Yuslida and JRT Joaida. And how about Dr. Desmond? Dr. Desmond, I think before this, he said in forever living, he has earned more than 20 million. 20 million. And the number is just keep growing. And the numbers, the growing, is not is not by small percentage. It's growing by big percentage. All right. Probably it takes about 10 years, 20 years to earn 20 millions. But in order for him to double up to achieve 40 million, probably he needs just about another 2 or 3 years. All right. So this is crazy. This is immense. This is big. This is huge. And this is beyond imagination. Come on, folks. If you're still skeptical about the business, please take a look at my slides again. And I don't mind if you want to go through it again and listen to my talk again, and just open your eyes and take a look at the business and do it, and focus in the business and do it by 100%. Okay, so and how about global pay? All right. In 2020, all right, last year, Forever Living pays $17 million. All right, this is a CBM global pool, 3%. The company pays 17 million for bonuses. And again, I've never seen a single company pay that much of money for bonuses to reward to the employee, to the business owner. All right, never. And of course, you can see a lot of companies out there that pay to their shareholders, but never to their employees. They will never pay a big, huge bonuses to the employee. All right. Of course, you can see they pay the dividend. They do pay dividend. A good company, when they earn money, they pay the good dividend. Probably it's just like how many cents of dividends, 10 cents, 20 cents of dividend to their shareholders. And it all depends on how much money that you have invested in the company as a shareholder. Again, when you compare in that way, how much have you invested in Forever Living? How much have you invested in Forever Living? Probably you want to ask Dr. Desmond how much he has invested in Forever Living. And immediately I know the answer. It's less than 2,000 because he started as a VIP. He started as an assistant supervisor. All right. So by investing less than 2,000, okay, by investing less than 2,000, the rewards to him alone over the periods of 20 years is more than 20 millions. It's more than 20 millions. Can you imagine? There is not a single company out there can pay you such a high bonuses or such a high return. That is no. Okay. Next, that is almost come to my ends of my slides. So what I'm trying to say, I would urge you, I would invite you to be your own boss. Multiply your time, choose the right platform, and become part of Forever Millionaires family. And I amend a little bit here because the original slides, this slide is originally taken from Dr. Desmond. It said choose the right platform and welcome to be part of Forever Millionaire. But I amend it, I want to change it. Choose the right platform and become part of Forever millionaire's family. All right. Okay. So this is the last part of my presentation. I'm going to tell you your choice and a little bit of my advice. So having gone through or having been with me for the past 1.5 hours, if you're still not convinced and you're still skeptical and you still have doubts about the business and you can't make up a decision, all right, it's because, I think for me, it's because of you are lacking of the push and pull factor, all right? So you have something in mind. You always want to say, okay, probably tonight, you still remember what I shared with you just now. And then probably you said, okay, I want to go the new way. I want to start the forever business. I want to make it big. I want to achieve my CBM or GLT, okay? But after 24 hours, most probably you will go back to your old way. So to me personally, instead of not going back to the old way, I would say you need a lot of push and pull factor. And to me, pull factor is always bigger, it must be bigger than your push factor. Why I say so? Okay, so if you understand pull and push, right? If I force you to do something, let's say when you force people to do things they don't like, you will get resistance. You have downlines. You try to force them to do forever business. Probably you will get resistant. And they say, okay, I can't do it. I hate the business because you force them too much. And to me, I would say it's a combination of pull and push. All right. Sometimes people get complacent easily. So you need to push him a little bit, but not too much. Okay. And most importantly, you need to find your why, your big why, which is the pull factor. Because once you find your pull factor, then people do things they like and you get big results and big rewards. Okay, this is from the bottom of my heart, and I'm sincerely telling you this because you can't force the people that do not like to join you. Okay, and again, this is 80-20%. So most of the people, I mean, probably even though the audience tonight here, after tomorrow, probably they can't remember what I said, after they have forgotten. So they will go back to their old again. But you have to always remember and come back to join our daily our training. Okay, come back and join the crazier people here. Come back and recharge you. I mean, come back to charge yourself to have a little bit of push factor and make sure you understand why you do the business in the first place as your pull factor. So by combining the push and pull factor, I think you can make it big in private living. All right. So last but not least, most of our people will still have the questions. You will ask, will it work for me? Yeah, the reward is very good. The startup is very low, okay? You do not require a big investment. But again, will it work for me? Okay? I said the answer is always yes, but make sure you're willing to think big, dream big, and set goals for yourself and your family. Commit to having regular customers, building your team, and developing 5 key people. Be prepared to tell everyone what you are doing and have a great attitude. And with this, I think it is quite sure that even you can't achieve whatever Dr. Desmond or Joyda or Yusida has achieved. But in order to beat, some of the managers outside, that is more than enough. So earning 5 figures in forever living is not difficult, trust me, all right? And a lot of people, I think a lot among us have achieved that in less than 6 months. So the most important message that I want to deliver to you today before I end my talk is change your thinking and you will be able to change your life. Okay, it's come to my last. I have this last slide and one more. So I would like to sincerely express my gratitude to this man who has spent his 42 years of life in making Forever Living such a good company, such a successful company that benefited all of us, that benefits all of us, and make us not only making a living, but make us a fortune. All right. So I've come to the end of my presentations, and thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much. So I hand over to our MC, and if you have any questions, you can just on your mic, and I try my best to answer your questions. Thank you. So
All right. Okay.
hi, Azro.
All right. So
Back to you.
okay. Anyway, thank you very, very much, Mr. Chief, for the sharing. And it was such actually a very great experience and very informative regarding of the comparison of corporate company and also our Forever Living. So hopefully everyone feel happy, and how to say, you can take some of the learning point here, and we can implement into our business, and we can moving on. Okay, since this 2021 is quite challenging for us, but it's actually, it doesn't mean we have to limit our movement or our business activities. All right. So before we end up our session, so let's unmute everyone and scream our slogan. All right. Okay, so everyone ready?
Ready.
Ready?
Ready.
One,
Yes.
2, 3.
Yes.
No limit.
Go, go, go.
Millionaire.
Yes.
No limit.
Millionaire.
Millionaire.
No limit, go, go, go,
Millionaire.
Millionaire. Millionaire.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Chee.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sibu.
Thank you, Azrul.
Thank you, Azrul.